This is Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. Welcome. Part of the reforms of the federal government to ensure effective policing is a complete overhaul of institutions and mindset of officers into a modern-day internal security standards. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this at the maiden edition of the Nigeria Police Awards and Commendations ceremony in Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Dedication, courage and selflessness, complementing them with training and capacity building to equip officers and men of the police with the expertise are part of the requirements needed to carry out the tasks of modern policing. And the approval of the first week of April as Police Week and the last day of the week as National Police Day is another step towards ensuring effective policing.
We are upgrading our equipment and technology to enhance operational effectiveness and efficiency. This includes acquiring fit-for-purpose equipment, weapons, ammunition, and armored carriers to provide cover and protection for officers in combat situations. These endeavors will be supported by suitable measures to enhance the status of our officers and personnel both during their service and after retirement.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and other speakers at the event commended the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, for recognizing the hard work, resilience and patriotism of the officers and men of the police force, acknowledging that the decision to celebrate the nation's heroes will pave way for a new police force.
As the leader of the National Assembly, I pledge our full cooperation and support of the entire legislature in Nigeria to ensure better policing through oversight functions, through budgetary provisions, and through other means of reform.
Since the commencement of the current federal government police reforms, we have witnessed very significantly improvements in the security, safety of lives and property.
The good news by the government at this event is assurance to equip the police officers with the knowledge, skills, values and expertise required to tackle the complex challenges of modern policing to enhance operational effectiveness and efficiency of the force. In Abuja, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
In the meantime, officers and men of Nigeria Police Force must keep to their ethical conduct of integrity and excellence. Minister of Police Affairs Ibrahim Gaidam gave the charge at the maiden awards and commendations by the Nigeria Police Force. Francis from reports.
Officers and men of the force play a critical role in maintaining law and order. Sadly, given the course of their duty, some of them paid the supreme price. And here is a gathering to celebrate the courage, sacrifice and professionalism of these officers and men who have gone above the call of duty to ensure the safety and security of the nation.
This award has been accepted today on behalf of all officers, wonderful officers of my command, River State Police Command, and every other places I've worked.
Award is actually for the center that I've gotten because it's teamwork. No one can achieve it alone.
I've been following up the insurance company through the help of the Inspector General of Police as directed, and I've been getting results.
Posthumous and recognition awards and benefits for officers and men who paid the supreme price were presented to the deceased families.
While this event primarily celebrates the exemplary performances of our officers, it is equally designed to inspire every member of the force to excel in their duties.
Minister of Police Affairs, Chief of Defense Staff, Chairman of Police Service Commission and other dignitaries note that their professionalism, courage and compassion are the cornerstone of a safe and secure society.
As we reflect on the invaluable contributions of our police force, we must also recognize the importance of continuous improvement, accountability and transparency within our law enforcement agencies.
I want to remind us
that the challenges we're facing is just a matter of time. Together, hand in hand, we shall defeat all evil coming against this great country.
It is important that setting quota of admission into PORAC and recruitment into the police force is reserved for children of police officers as a way of ensuring that police officers replicate themselves in the police institution.
A video on the challenges police operatives and their families go through climaxed the maiden awards and commendations of the Nigeria Police Force. Francis from NTA News.
The Nigerian Army is reviewing its operations, injecting new platforms and upscaling its efforts to further secure the nation. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that these and other issues were the thrust of the first quarter Chief of Army Staff Conference in Abuja.
These are heads of units, formations and commanders at the Chief of Army Staff First Quarter Conference 2024 in Abuja. The periodic assembly is an avenue to review army operations, training activities and relevant key issues in the first quarter of the year and make enhanced projections to further secure the nation.
It is pertinent to accentuate the Nigerian Army's commitment to remaining a viable diplomatic tool for the government through consistent and effective contributions to national, regional, and global security.
Our efforts have remained focused towards ensuring the accomplishment of the Chief of Army Staff's command philosophy, which ultimately center on adequate training, well-equipped and highly motivated troops.
The Nigerian Army stressed that it is committed to ensuring professionalism, human rights and the protection of the nation's territorial integrity. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The air component of Operation Hadarinkai has executed a precision airstrike on the hideouts of ISWAP terrorists nestled within Koleram village alongside the shores of Lake Chad, killing wanted terrorist kingpins Ali Dawood, Bakura, Fallujah and Malam Ari. The operation was conducted on the 13th of April 2024, with the Battle Damage Assessment Post-Strike revealed the neutralization of more than 30 terrorists, including their commanders. The success of these airstrikes underscores the NAF's commitment to eradicating terrorism and ensuring the safety and security of Nigerian citizens. By neutralizing key terrorist figures and destroying the logistic infrastructure, the operation has significantly degraded the capabilities of the ISWAP group in the regions, says the Nigerian Air Force. Navigational safety has been neglected over the years in Nigeria, and experts call for a presidential intervention on Nigerian waterways to salvage the sector and ensure the safety of lives. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria were discussing safety on Nigerian waterways in view of recurrent boat mishaps in the country. Say technology is an important aspect to actualize this. Ekemene Williams reports.
The tragic death of Nollywood actor John Paul Odonwodo and 4 others after a boat mishap tells much about the recurrent accidents in Nigerian inland waterways. Records have it that more than 300 people lost their lives to various boat mishaps in Nigeria in 2023. This growing concern is why these guests on Good Morning Nigeria are demanding an urgent presidential intervention to support relevant agencies, enforce standard practices such as use of only quality boats, enforcement of safety regulations, and sensitization of the public on navigating safety.
Boats can capsize for a number of reasons. Current, drivers, carelessness, malfunction of, the boat, or even temperature of the water. Sudden change in temperature can reduce or increase the viscosity, and of course, wind.
The National Inland Waterways make it compulsory for anybody on water to be on life jackets at the boarding jetty. And unfortunately, that boat that was involved in that accident was not a registered boat. The owner has been arrested by National Inland Waterways Authority.
For guests, putting the right measure in place will also require assessment of water routes to identify shallow and silted areas, objects under the water to prevent accidents, as well as synergy between authorities concerned.
What is the presence of our personnel in the 28 states? How developed are they? Are they utilizing the laws that says inland waterways must provide best people for the Nigerian waterways? Part of their responsibility. So we need to interrogate what we have at the moment and see how we can move the industry forward.
So state governments, this is the time to review ownership, operation and development of jetties in every state. Also to help to develop and deploy new naval architecture for boats that are to be used in our waterways.
With 28 states covered by water routes, the guests believe adequate attention to water transportation will ease inflation due to hiking price in road and air transportation. In Abuja, Kemini Williams, NTA News.
Now, the last few weeks has recorded some cases of water accidents. While some of the cases claimed lives of passengers, others survived by the whiskers. In Asaba, correspondent Susan Esu reports that some residents are calling for enforcement of use of safety kits by travelers.
Water travel is one of the primary means of transportation for many communities around the coastal areas. Some communities in Delta State, Anambra and Kogi State can only be connected through the waters. This cable marine waterside in Asaba Delta State links Asaba and Kogi to Onitsha in Anambra State. The boat accident, which claimed the life of popular Nigerian movie actor John Paul Odonwodu, popularly known as Junior Pope, and other crew members in Anam River in Anambra State, is a wake-up call for a more effective implementation of safety guidelines on waterways.
There are some laws that are already in place, but people out of ignorance are not really keen into it. So I think they should empower them with every necessary tools to work as task force, or probably set up another committee as task force to checkmate every boat owner to make sure that every facility and every kit that they need to convey people from one point of the river to another is in place.
The boat captain himself, they are expected to kit up with their life vest before even boarding the boat. And it is the responsibility of the operators, the boat operators, to provide a life jacket for all the prospective passengers. And where the passenger refuses to put on the life jacket, the boat captain have the right to ask such passenger to step out of the boat.
It's not out of place for you to have your personal life jacket, even if the government is unable to provide life jacket for you, and also the boat operators, even if they are unable to provide life jacket for you. Well, we're talking about your personal security here. We're talking about your life here. You can also get your life jackets if this is a particular route you follow all the time.
Enforcing the use of standard life jackets will go a long way to save the lives of water travelers. In Asaba, Susan Esu, NTA News.
Now, let's connect with correspondent Susan Esu in Asaba, who will be giving us an update on this recurring incident that is not really one of the best things most Nigerians want to know. Susan, tell us, what is really the situation right now in terms of efforts being made to reduce water accidents in that part of the country?
Thank you, Sheyi Makinde. Based on my interaction with the manager of Nigerian in Inland Waterways, the zonal manager, he has said that, like from the report, it is an aberration for a sea traveler to travel without the life jacket on. And from my interaction with him, he also said that a boat rider, the operator of any boat, has the right to ask a passenger to step down if the person refuses. Now, a few weeks ago, about a week ago, a very ugly incident happened here. Some Nigerians particularly those in the movie industry, Nigerian movie industry, and with one of them, a prominent Nigerian movie actor, Pope John Paul Odowondu, popularly known as Pope Jr., lost his life right at that spot of the river. There, if you can see it, right at the spot, that's where about 5 Nigerians lost their lives. And this is attributed to the lack of use of safety jackets, the life jacket. And then yesterday we were here to talk to the people around here who do business around here. We are told that some of them refused the use of life jacket as a result of the fact that it was dirty. Now, the people are saying that henceforth, going forward, any passenger who does not use a life jacket will not be taken along with them. In our interaction with the police too, they said, unfortunately the police commissioner is not in the state. We tried to reach out to him to get their input and feedback on this. They are not in the state. But the people are saying henceforth that no passenger will be taken without the life jacket. And if you can see clearly from the back here, when we came in here, we met some passengers traveling, boarding the boat, and they were with their life jackets. So I think what happened last week is a wake-up call, and everybody is taking responsibility for himself or herself. Everybody is taking responsibility for safety. And then the Nigerian authority too should ensure that this is enforced. Because sometimes if legislations are not made, if government does not enforce or implement some policies, people will not listen. So I think if government steps in to ensure that, to make sure that anyone who travels on the waterways has a life jacket on, I think the disaster that happened last week will not reoccur.
Susan, thanks for your contribution there. It's very key now that we know that enforcement has to play a very crucial role if we are to reduce the recurrence of water accidents in the country. Thank you so much once again for joining us.
You're welcome.
I've been conversing with Susan Isu there on the recurrence of water accidents in parts of the country. Time now to go over to our Lagos Network Center. And Adeola will be our guide. Over to you, Adeola, in our Lagos Network Center.
Ayo. Maybe I should just say Your Excellency. Okay, streamlining of the different taxes payable by Nigerians from about 62 to a single 9 digit after completion of the ongoing tax reforms has been applauded by various stakeholders, as the policy is said to bring about a win-win situation for tax authorities and taxpayers. Amaka Owo sought the views of experts on this, which they say will put an end to leakages and boost accountability.
The Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee was inaugurated by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration to address challenges facing the tax system in the country. With the harmonization, it brought about a drastic reduction in the number of taxes. Experts say steps taken reflect an indication that the government is taking the bull by the horn.
It will also ensure efficiency and effectiveness in tax collection. The cost of collection is going to reduce, there will be more compliance, and then the use of non-state actors in tax collection, where you see hoodlums, thugs getting involved in tax collection, will come to an end.
Some misconceived multiple taxation in these taxes, and they don't really differentiate between the indirect taxes, which you are only an agent of the government to collect and remit to the government, and the ones that you bear as your own tax. So all those things are going to be resolved, and people will easily, voluntarily comply, and also there will be ease of monitoring.
For this professional in tax matters, the policy is in line with the canons of taxation.
There is also the issue of simplicity, that it should not be a complicated system where people can easily understand that this is what they ought to pay and this is what is within the ambit of the law, that is what they ought to pay, and it should be clear to them. There is also convenience. How they pay, it should be also convenient to them.
The benefits of this policy are enormous, as there are emphases on taxpayers to develop the zeal for tax knowledge about meaningful development in tax environment. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
To attain effective strategic disaster management, especially in curbing unnecessary deaths, disaster management experts have called for trained community-based first responders to disaster locations before the arrival of professional emergency service agents. Larry Belay examined this concept.
When disaster occurs, the fluidity and unpredictable magnitude of its effects makes it difficult to predict. Before the cavalry of professional emergency responders can get to disaster sites, it has become increasingly necessary to have a network of trained community first responders who live around the area to deliver immediate first aid to victims, so as to reduce the number of preventable deaths. Emergency agencies are convinced that this is an effective first step in containing disaster impact. But first, communities must be enlightened and trained to embrace this concept.
Training the community. LASEMA and NEMA would also look into that, and the general public needs to assist as well. When things like this happen, rather than staying back and recording, we should be able to assist.
Lagos State has adopted a system in this concept, but still working on modalities to fine-tune it.
Oftentimes, majority of these incidents will have occurred before we know it. There must be a whistleblower at all time for us to act appropriately, and that's part of what we are intend to do going forward.
We will look at it again. We will perform holistic measure to ensure that it is not only effective, it is efficient, and all hands are on deck.
The first responders, experts say, should be trained in line with basic life-saving technologies to enable them perform optimally. In Lagos, Larry Belay, NTA News.
And those are reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in just when we return from this break. Please stay.
To Jos. Plateau State government is asking government officials entrusted with public funds to be prudent and more responsible with resources as the people look up to them for accountability. The governor gave the charge while declaring open a 4-day training for finance officers in Jos. Indiang and Abuja reports.
This training is organized by the state government to keep participants abreast of modern rudiments of accounting. Governor Mutfwang, while addressing the participants, urged them as managers of public fund to step up their game as a lot is expected of them. The governor also tasked them to uphold the ethics of their profession by operating according to the rules.
We must raise the bar in governance, and the only way we can do it is to raise the bar in our ethical orientation. I therefore want to call on you to up your game individually. It is not a time for competition. Make the best of where you are.
The Accountant General of Plateau State, Nanret Mansat, expressed appreciation to the governor for approving the training, which she says will make them better managers of public funds.
To assure you that we will not rest on our oars, that we will ensure that we are better versions of ourselves.
The theme of the training is understanding public finance management in a modern economy. In Jos, Indanyan and Abuja, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the health sector have been told to redouble efforts towards providing effective healthcare delivery system. Wife of the Plateau State Governor, Helen Mutfwang, made the plea while monitoring the distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets. Ijoma Ozomina has details.
The Plateau State government, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Malaria Elimination Team, officially flagged off the malaria eradication campaign with 2.9 million insecticide-treated mosquito nets expected to be distributed in the state. While monitoring the exercise, wife of the governor expressed optimism that the exercise will no doubt reduce cases of malaria and other illnesses to the barest minimum. She encourages everyone to sleep under the treated nets to avoid being infected by mosquitoes.
This initiative by the government and its partners, I sincerely pray and hope that we will achieve all results by having a state free of malaria. And I encourage those who have registered to take their e-token slips to the distribution point written on it to collect their free mosquito nets.
So I'm calling on all of us that are here to ensure that as we collect the net, let's use it for the purpose for which it is meant to be used, so that we won't be seeing people coming to hospital complaining of malaria. So together we can fight malaria, and together we make Plateau State a healthy state.
The insecticide-treated nets have been distributed across the 17 local government areas of the state. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. Is back to Ayodeji in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Bilkisu in our Jos Network Center would like to thank you. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has assured traditional rulers in Ogun State of her willingness to listen to their thoughts and royal counsels towards building a nation that is prosperous. She gave the assurance in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, during a meeting with the 4 paramount rulers in the state. The meeting was held in the state's governor's office, Okemoson, ahead of the flag-off of the Renewed Hope Initiative Women Agricultural Support Program for women farmers in the Southwest. Appreciating the traditional rulers for their support to the Bola Tinubu administration, the First Lady says the target is to build a nation that is conducive for all.
I believe that this is good, and then we are going to be consistent with it. And I don't think at this time in my life I have to be deceptive. So, God has really brought us this far, and we can only bless this nation who has blessed us so much, and see what are the legacies we want to leave behind.
The Akarigbo of Remoland, Oba Babatunde Adewale Ajayi, who spoke on behalf of the monarchs, applauded her interventions, adding that her home state is proud of antecedents and contributions to national development. The existence of a democratically elected local government council as a third tier of government is to drive development at the grassroots due to its proximity to the people. How impactful has the local government system been in Bayelsa State to the socio-economic lives of the people at the grassroots? That's what Ebinemi Zetemiyola would examine, especially with the imperatives of local government administration and grassroots development in Bayelsa State.
Local Government Council in its modern form owes its foundation to the local government reforms of 1976. The intention for the creation of local government areas is to rapidly spread development to the rural dwellers through the provision of basic amenities and general improvement of the socio-economic lives of the people, as well as the protection of lives and property.
Better water in all the wards, plus other communities across the local government. That is one area that is a primary function of the local government that we've done.
Despite efforts by successive local government administrations, a greater percentage of the population of rural dwellers are yet to feel the impact in Bayelsa State.
We don't have water system here. Light, we don't have light too. But in a day that the place is congested, we do buy fuel and on our generator.
No drugs, no equipment, no materials to work with.
The road to the primary school is okay, but when divert to the health center, it's a monkey bridge.
With the coming on board of democratically elected officials to administer the local government councils, what are the people's expectations?
Local government has to consider the high rate of expenditure
vis-a-vis the amount of income that we keep generating.
Some elected chairmen are optimistic that despite the competing demands for funds, they are committed to grassroots development.
By God's grace, we look at things that will move the local government forward. We are thinking of youth development.
The more mature mind with the experience, I think certain judge is going to see that they have a chairman they are going to be proud of.
Only time will tell. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Bayelsa State surely is one of the states in south of Nigeria, and that's why Ebinimi Zitemiola will now join us live to tell us about the impact of local government administration, which seem to be the closest to the people at the grassroots in terms of making them feel being part of governance and also moving up there to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
Thank you, Ayo. Exactly, just as you said, local government is the closest to the people, and since it is a association, have been making efforts towards imparting the lives of the local dwellers and of course their safety and security. But still, a reasonable percentage of people are yet to feel the impact. Moving forward, during the time of the first executive governor of Bayelsa State, in a bid to stimulate local government development, he created 32 rural development authorities to add to the already 8 constitutionally recognized documents. Moving forward, the of Seriaka Dixon, governor, he also created a law that is called the Income and Expenditure Transparency Law. This law provides that local government chairmen brief members of the public on monthly basis or at most 2 months of their income received and expenses made. This is to match revenue with service delivery. And the time of Seriaka Dixon, also to grassroots development, there was an action plan where funds were set aside and they were supervised by the supervision ministry, talking about the local government ministry, to ensure that they execute projects that will impact the lives of rural dwellers. During this process, a lot of projects were executed: the construction of concrete walkways, conveniences, even construction of markets, and renovation and refurbishing of primary health centers. Also, the construction of boreholes were done at the local government level. But frankly speaking, some of those projects are underutilized and some of them are not serving the purpose. Underutilized in the conveniences, some of them are locked. Even the boreholes, the daily cost of fueling generators and pumping the water for public use is not there. So these have made the people to resort to drinking and making domestic use from the river water, which is not safe, because we know the river water is polluted by oil spills and oil exploration and exploitation activities, and even at times by the people themselves, because that is where they defecate and do all what they do. So there's this fear of airborne diseases like cholera, which Bayelsa was affected sometime, as reported by the NCDC. Okay, moving forward, the primary healthcare facilities that are on ground, the buildings, some of them are there, no doubt. But one thing is having the building and serving its function. How are these?
I will sincerely have to disconnect with Benimi due to some challenges with audio there in Bayelsa, trying to give us an update on local government administration and its impact on the grassroots. Let's move on nationwide. And Enugu will be our next port of call. And Chinenye will be giving us the next set of reports. Over to you, Chinenye.
Thank you so much, Ayodeji. Welcome to Enugu. A cross-section of people in Anambra State have commended the federal government for the palliatives rolled out to cushion the effects of the economic hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal in Nigeria. Chinyere Fesi Okoye reports.
Show that between May 29 and October 1, 2023, federal government of Nigeria announced at least 9 palliatives to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal. The palliatives are to support sectors like agriculture, transportation, household, workers' welfare, and so on. In Anambra State, though the initial palliative loan was given to the state government, some supporters of President Tinubu's government and other political stakeholders were also on top of the game to make life more meaningful for the populace.
The state last year, we had a cash award that went to all civil servants, even pensioners, which was paid till December. We had a program, the 1U2 skill was also part of our own way of trying to, and 4,000 youths were actually, some of them got as high as 400,000.
That palliative, in one way or the other, has assisted the Nigerians.
With sectors like manufacturing, agriculture, transportation, and business getting 500 billion naira, while workers and selected households received 35,000 and 25,000 naira respectively.
This year, we're actually stepping up most of this thing. We have the 1U2 skill, which is the program is ready. We have another micro enterprise support scheme, which is a grassroots program.
Before the minimum wage becomes a reality, that palliative should continue to be paid to Nigerian workers. That's the special appeal we are making.
Majority of the masses didn't benefited from that program. I think they should upscale it. You know, they should do it more. The poverty is still on.
With the President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda in place, expectations are that Nigerians will continue to enjoy the dividends of democracy and good governance. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, has indicated its readiness to partner Enugu State Government on agricultural development through the provision of technical assistance. Chika Ugur's report is here presented.
The FCDO commenced a 9-month program on sustainable climate and smart agricultural transformation in 2023 in 9 states of the Federation. The program focuses on improving agricultural productivity and reducing conflicts over natural resources. Team leader of the program, Dr. Adi Yaode, said though the project has ended, the FCDO heeded the call by Enugu State Government to implement the PropCom Plus, which would improve the forestry and land resources of the state, as well as rehabilitate the resources to produce commodities such as oil palm, cashew, among other sustainable commodity production.
We focused on improving agricultural productivity, reducing emissions, improving resilience of the rural population dependent on the rural economy, and reducing conflict over natural resources.
Responding, Governor Mba, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidebere Onya, described the visit as a huge opportunity for Enugu State. He said the state government is committed to the project to encourage massive food production and exportation.
Agriculture, climate finance, climate-related activities are big factors as we build infrastructure. In this state, we have worked out very intentionally in identifying a pipeline of opportunistic bankable projects. Most of them fall into the climate resilient scope.
He further explained that the government is working to have a holistic plan on agriculture in the state. In Enugu, Chiegono Aro, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We'll take another break here. And nationwide, we continue with Ayodeji in Abuja. Thereafter, do stay.
And that's nationwide. We'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. On behalf of the entire production crew, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.